Carissa Selman is a certified mindfulness facilitator. She will lead us through this exercise. One thing that we ask of you is that you turn off your phone, silent your phone, so we don't have any interruptions. And then Jenny Krestow is gracious enough to let us use the planetarium for this, and she would probably like to tell you a little bit about the planetarium as well.
Yeah, welcome to the planetarium. For those of you who've been here before, you know we have fabulous seats that are going to recline to let you view the dome more comfortably. I'll do that for you now. What you're going to see above your head for the duration of the mindful practice is what will actually be overhead tonight between sunset and sunrise. So it's just going to be a time lapse for those approximate 10.5 hours. That'll last for about a half an hour. And then when the sun rises in the east, that's time, I think pretty much coincides with the end of the mindful practice. If you are interested in more astronomy-based presentations, we have presentations every week. And the next one, I think, is scheduled tomorrow, but I think there is a scheduling conflict, so it might not happen tomorrow. Might not be another one until next week, but we'll see if I can get some student presenters to come and give a presentation tomorrow. Anyway, this is our planetarium. I'm going to let Jason take over, and I'm going to close the door.
Okay, so we'll wait until Jenny closes the. I'm going to go ahead and move you back. You saw everybody wave real quick.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Is there
Good.
anybody, I didn't get a chance to ask if there's anybody here for the first time. Jason,
First
maybe you can
timers?
tell me. Any first timers?
2, 3, 3 first timers.
Okay, great. Welcome.
4 or 5
Glad you're
first
here.
timers, actually. So
wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for
Okay.
being here.
All right, Carissa, it's all yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jenny and Jason, for facilitating this as well in your way. So for folks who are new, usually what happens is I talk a little while, offer some suggestions, and then we're in silence for a while, and maybe I'll pop my voice in here or there, just as a little audio cue, and then we wind up right about the time that the stars sunrise comes up. So and when I'm talking, I just want everyone to know that my suggestions are just that, suggestions. These are tried and true practices, and the guidelines I'm offering work for many people, but if they don't work for you, that is totally fine. You are free to set them aside and do something else. And I'm going to walk us through just briefly a little arriving and getting settled. Often at this point, what I am focusing on is posture, but since everyone is already laying down in a relaxed posture or reclining, we'll just make some minor adjustments there and just get used to the space. And then we'll do a little bit of an attention focusing practice. So the first thing I usually recommend is that you just take 3 long, slow, deep, intentional breaths, whatever that looks like for you today. You might have a cold. You might have been breathing from the top of your chest most of the day. A lot of that times that's our habit. So you can explore, what does a long, slow, deep, full breath feel like today? Can you expand out into your rib cage and down into the belly? You can breathe in through your nose and out through the mouth. Or if something else is more comfortable for you, feel free to do it that way. We're just saying hello to the breath in the body, giving these deep breaths, giving the mind a cue that we're shifting gears, that we're doing something different. And then once you've done your deep intentional breaths, just allow the breath to return to its natural pace and rhythm, whatever that may be. There are many different types of meditations, including ones that direct the breath in a particular way, and we're not going to be doing that. The breath is just going to come and go. And those deep breaths that are a cue to our mind and body that we're shifting gears. I was thinking a little bit beforehand about the seasons. And as we are shifting gears, we had the autumnal equinox in late September. And by now, most of us are probably beginning to notice the days getting definitely shorter, sunset coming earlier. And the body notices this as well. This is a time for all kinds of plant and animal beings on the planet to shift into this slower, quieter way of being. Anyone going into hibernation for the winter, this is that slowing down time. And we can cultivate that ourselves. Mindfulness practice can bring some immediate benefits. You may walk away feeling more relaxed, or rested in some ways. And most of the time, it is a cumulative benefit. You practice mindfulness a little bit each day, and it begins to bring a different type of benefit, whether that is increased patience or lowered stress. It's different for so many people. But we can cultivate intentionally this stillness. And it's lovely that right now, those who are in the planetarium have some darkness and maybe a sense of restfulness and ease. And this is so deeply nourishing for the body and the mind. So you can just notice, what are your surroundings in the moment? I mentioned it was dark. Perhaps if you're watching this later on YouTube, it's in a different room at a desk. Maybe you're sitting in an upright chair. You're welcome to have your eyes open or closed, whichever is most comfortable. If your eyes are open, those of you in the planetarium might just gaze up into the stars. And if you're elsewhere, you can gaze downwards in a soft focus at about 90-degree angle, not looking at anything in particular. Noticing the qualities of the room around you, the light levels, the temperature, sounds both inside and outside of the room. If you're somewhere that there are other people, you might just have a sense of other bodies occupying the same space as you. And then directing the attention toward the body and a more inward experience, from the outward sense of the room to the sense of how the body feels, however it is that you're sitting. The places where your body makes contact with the chair or cushion that you're on. Your feet on the floor. Your legs and seat against the chair. Arms resting on the arms or in your lap or folded over your belly. Your head and shoulders and back against the rests of the chair. Noticing how it feels and noticing the weight of the body, completely supported. And if there's any kind of tightness or tension, perhaps a sense of bracing, tensing, holding yourself up, see if you can invite that part of the body to simply relax, to allow yourself to be completely supported by the chair and the cushion. And if adjusting your position would be helpful, help make you just the teeniest bit more comfortable, please feel free to do that. When we practice mindfulness, we are offering stillness or encouraging it, inviting it, but we're never clamping ourselves down into some perfect stillness or complete silence. So if there's a yawn or a little stretch or an adjustment of the shoulders, that is completely welcome. You might also notice interior experience of thoughts or feelings. Just kind of take the temperature of where you're at right now, mentally and emotionally. One definition that I use for mindfulness practice is that it is paying attention to our present moment experience with an attitude of curiosity, openness, and a willingness to simply be with things as they are. So whatever is here externally or internally, see if you can have that curiosity, that openness. Just for a little while, be willing to be with things as they are. And generally, in a mindfulness practice, we will offer the mind an anchor, like a boat uses an anchor to keep from drifting away. We offer the mind an anchor to keep it tethered to this present moment. And again, it's not in this rigid, clamped down way, but more in an inviting way, like you would invite a friend to sit down in a comfortable chair. For those of you in the planetarium, if your eyes are open, you could use the sky itself as your anchor. Opening the eyes and gazing just with a general awareness of the skies above, seeing the stars, noticing how they shift and change and move, noticing the quality of the light. The patterns that the stars make in the sky. In a very general, open sense. If one particular star or constellation holds the mind's attention for a few moments, that's totally fine. You can allow the mind to focus in a little bit on one particular thing. And then once that is no longer captivating the mind's attention, you can simply return to this wider experience. If you're not in the planetarium, if you're watching this later, and even if you are, if you would find it helpful to connect with the breath in the body, you could offer the mind instead the anchor of breathing. Counting the breath is a tried and true method of focusing the mind. Simply breathe in one inhale and then out again and count 1. And another inhale and exhale. Count 2. Without controlling the breath in any particular way, just noticing the full cycle of breathing, the inhale to the exhale. And I usually suggest aiming for a count of 10 and then starting back over again at 1. But if you find yourself repeatedly getting lost somewhere around 3 or 4, feel free to just do 3. Counting 3 breaths, 3 full cycles of breathing, and then returning again to 1. And part of that curiosity, openness, and a willingness to be with things as they are is applying that to the mind itself. The mind will invariably wander, and we simply notice that we've wandered and welcome it back to the anchor, whether that is the breath, the counting, or simply the vast sky above. if you notice that the mind has wandered, if you're thinking about something in the future or the past, you can simply label it thinking or remembering. Just a little gentle touch, acknowledging the truth of your present moment experience without judgment, if possible. And with compassion and kindness, just like you would offer to a friend a comfortable chair. Invite the mind to return to the anchor that you have offered it. The visual field of the stars, or the experience of the breath in the body and counting it. The practice is simply returning over and over again whenever we invariably wander. Coming back to this moment, this breath, this experience. And as we come to the end of our practice today, I invite you to let go of the anchor that you were offering the mind. Shift your experience from the breath or the field of vision to the sense of the body and the chair. Maybe noticing if it feels any different than it did when you first sat down. If the quality of mind or emotions have changed, which they may or may not have. But wiggling your fingers and toes, giving a little shrug and a movement, and offering yourself some appreciation for providing this nourishing stillness to yourself today. And I hope you can carry that through the rest of your day, and that it benefits you and everyone around you. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Carissa. Appreciate it. Thank you very much for attending. We do this every Monday from 12:30 to 1. So feel free to come back again week after week. Thank you very much. Have a great day, Carissa.
Take care, everyone. See you next time.
See you next week.
Any